So, you can pole vault. That's cool. How are your parachute, gliding, crossbow, sniping, alligator hunting skills? Yeah, yeah, that's what I thought. So guys, we're going to be moving forward in a lot of ways in this episode. First, I'm going to go ahead and show you what we're doing on top of the hill. Remember before when I mentioned I got some metal from the island next to us? I say island, the little corner of the island next to us. We're at that little oddball section. Well, I went ahead and created the hilltop forge. It is not by any means complete, and I'm not really sure if we're going to finish it or not. I've got 4 or 5 forges, I've got a smithy, I've got some storage over here, I cook some meat on occasion when compies are killing me, I grind up whatever I need mortar and pestle wise, but it's purely a functional area. Also, there's a great place to base jump off of. So I've been building this in secret on you guys for a little bit now. I wanted to make sure I had enough supplies to do it. The gathering time took a fair amount of time, honestly. I don't really know. Probably spent 2 or 3 hours gathering materials and things and setting up base over here so that I could actually put this together and use it to show you guys what it's capable of. And this will be a first for me too. I've never used the ballista in the past, and I've always been curious how it affects larger dinos. And although there's no one on here for PvP, I may host a friend or two on here at one point. There's a way for me to do that. And we'll see how things go in the future with it. But, you know, it's going to be a lot of fun to play with for sure. It's a bit too expensive to be utilizing on random targets all the time. Because although you can gather your ammunition from your shots, you're not very likely to do so. At least I don't think so. And while I'm as interested in modern warfare as the next guy, there's just a definite cool factor that's there for ballistas, catapults, and things of that nature. I'm really happy to have seen these added into the game, even though we're not going to be shooting our own base with it anytime soon. Maybe we'll do that sometime later. Also made a few grappling hooks while I'm here. We'll definitely use those for something in the future. They had just been added into the game, so I figured I'd try a few of those. Use them off camera. I want to focus on that ballista for now. Here we are at our base jump location. Now from here, I haven't yet tested. I believe we can jump all the way over to our starter base. And potentially a future base, depending on where we're angled from. Now once again, you can control the parachute surprisingly well. I've been a little bit surprised at this point because it's a lot better than I thought it was. When I tried it in the past, I'd been using it for lower dimensions down, things like that. Like when you saw me get Fluffy out from here before, it's actually not a bad way to travel if it's already a part of your agenda. As long as you have a good jumping point, you can do a lot of different things, and it would be a lot less over manipulated than, say, just flying from A to B and not having any concerns. At least with this, you can miscalculate and have catastrophic failure, things like that. Now, what I mentioned to you guys at the beginning of this episode as the intro is a new Olympic sport, I think. I mean, how cool would that be for people to have to base jump in an area, use a crossbow to snipe targets from afar, mind you. I guess we'd have to do this in Florida, and I don't think there's too many mountains in the Florida region. But, you know, fun idea nonetheless. I had not planned to shoot anything. I didn't even know that you could use a crossbow while on a parachute. At this point, I honestly believed I was going to break the chute by pulling out the crossbow and die. So I need to keep this in mind next time I'm doing any PvP. And also, if there's anyone interested in me showing some survival of the fittest or anything like that, they've recently deployed an update that eliminates at least some amount of the cheating that can be done. And even though they're going to roll out a much bigger rollout on features, it's something I'd like to host on here if there's any interest for it. And when I was talking about having control with these things, you know, I know we've seen this before, but I've definitely have learned a new tool set with this. I've never actually utilized the parachutes in this way before. But mind you, I've been using RGs and Quetzals and everything else in the past. It just seems to take away a lot of the flavor. So I think you guys also remember the USS EXP. It was the secondary raft I built before. At least you've seen it in the background. It helped me cap off a level at one point earlier in the game while working towards the bow. Now, I went ahead and threw down some stone foundations on here, all except for the area to access the boat. While you could always access it from underneath, sometimes it's good to be able to just run on top of it in a pinch. And I want to try to line this up center, but I'm really not concerned with it being perfect. You know, just somewhat center so that aiming in either direction isn't awkward. And just look at it though. The rotation on it is just super cool. Granted, it's just like a... Yeah, somehow we're in battle. I don't know either. Stupid Mega Piranha, I betcha. I'm not going to waste the ammo. So, it does seem to do less damage to smaller targets. Like this pterodon, for a moment, takes off with that bolt that I launched at the last second. And rather than try to chase it down and get my bolt back, I just let it go. There went my 14 metal and so on and so forth. So, it is a bit of an impractical weapon at times. And it's never going to be like an all-purpose thing. They primarily made these for PvP. And, you know I keep saying that, but I'm sure I'll use this. Like, you guys want to see something in particular, just mention it. I don't have any intention currently of using the catapult, but not just limited to weaponry. If y'all are interested in seeing any particular side of Ark, you want to see me do some kind of challenge that I'm hesitant to do, voice it in comments below. I do read up on the YouTube channel whenever I'm able to, and I'd like to incorporate other people into the series, whether it just be through naming or what have you, just discussion. This is one of the most interesting games that I have seen in years, and I've played many games over the course of the years. I started out playing, I believe it was Doom and C-Prop before. There were games I never even knew the name to on a Commodore 64 that I played at one time. I mean, I didn't play any and every game most of the time. Back in the early days of Atari and NES, I played quite a bit. And a break right here. That looks like contestant number 1 right there. I'm going to try and get a good angle on him and kind of assess the situation over here, see what to do. But in terms of gaming, what really probably hooked me the most after I had been playing different games, console games and things off and on back in the early years was Warcraft 1 demo that I purchased at Radio Shack before I even ever had a job or anything like that. So if that dates anything for you, Radio Shack still sold computer games and demos for that matter cost money up there. And it only had 2 or 3 levels, and it was just such a great game. For the most part, I've actually stuck to Blizzard games over the years. And the last, I don't know, little while I've been more interested in things outside the Blizzard community as Activision's played seemingly more of a role of how they produce their games. I'm getting pretty comfortable with this lineup, guys. Let's try this out. We're not going to worry about a headshot just yet. We're just going to try and hit him. Not bad. And now, let's hope he doesn't eat us. Oh, good. Yeah, it definitely does a lot more damage to larger targets, guys. Should have one-shotted that Pterodon earlier, and now he is probably at half-life or less at this point. Okay, good. Yeah, we'll be fine. He can't get to us in the time we can clip him. Oh, wow. Extra damage to the head, as it always seems to be, but he's done for. We're going to have to play with this thing a lot more later. This is just going to be one toy in the toy box, so to speak. uh, trying to get my bolts back now, guys. Yeah, well, we'll take the pike. I'm not sure if we'll really do any kibble farming this season or anything like that. I find it seems to take an awful lot of time to generate the kibble, merely to have higher level dinos. And although every level does help to some degree, the amount really just varies on the dino. I prefer to get dinos that are relatively high level base, but in terms of maximizing their total level, I'm not quite sure if it's really worth it in the end, honestly. The levels that you get after you tame them affect your dinos much greater than those initial bonus levels that you get for taming effectiveness. I guess it would also just depend on the type of kibble. Like, there's no way I'm going to bother trying to get Quetzal eggs anytime soon. I wonder if they even produce eggs while they're flying. Can you imagine, trying to follow one even from ground or something like that, so that you're in their region long enough for them to drop an egg? That would probably be pretty ridiculous. Although, should be an achievement for sure if they ever do a true achievement system. Alright guys, let's see what else we can shoot. I guess we could try something that's potentially a mid-size dino? I mean, is there a mid-size? I don't know. It's not a sedan. Definitely love the water on the game. I have noticed that, when you're in the water itself, not very visible. There's Exhibit B. He's going to be our nice little target. And get away from the AoE damage of him trying to hit the silly turtle. What level are you? 36. Yeah, we got this. One for each level. And we'll punch him to death after that. Wow, we hit him. 2. Pretty sure I hit him every time, actually. I'm not sure. Let's see. Yeah, he's dead. Good, good, good. You know what? I wasn't even watching. Did we get experience for this? Am I just killing these guys for fun and not for experience? Sweet. All of our bolts back, guys. And some teeth. Okay, yeah. Let's get back up. I don't know if you guys remember that swarm of Mega Piranha and how friendly they are. But I think we need to... I'm stuck. Why can't I move? Okay, there we go. Let's get back on. And I'm sure by the time I'm done with this, you'll more than understand how much I love Mega Piranha. The best creature ever made. Nah, I see the necessity of them though. When I first started Ark, they killed me the most times, and I wonder if maybe they've even upped their damage over time. I don't know. In the early game though, you look at water like you're going to die the moment your foot touches the water. Yeah, at least once you've learned your lesson. And the perspective of the game when you first begin it is so different. But it's more or less like that with anything. As I say, the more you understand it, the less magic behind it. But at the same time, the more equipped you are for battle in this type of game or environment. So we're going to be moving forward from here. We're probably going to rush ahead quite a bit. This is going to be more than just a beast slaying episode. You guys have any clue as to what you'd like to see me use this thing on, or, till it breaks, so to speak? Let me know. Alright guys, so I've been on quite the adventure since we last left off. I've been traveling all over the map, just looking for different things, that kind of thing, trying to consider what I really need the most. Like, what really will help us move forward at this point. And I really need an Ankylosaurus, which is what you see me easily kiting around. You would never have to sit on a rock to get these guys. They're so fast. There are the bodies behind me are the corpses of the ones that were lower level, so they weren't getting in the way and things. I wanted to eliminate any confusion as I went forward. And his Topor's high, starting to run away. Not really worried about him whatsoever. But I've got to say too, this is This is like my childhood favorite dinosaur right here. Just the idea of a built-in mace on an animal is just insane to me. It's actually, I can't think of many things too much cooler than that. Maybe a platypus, but cool for different reasons, obviously. But I've also thrown a lot of metal in the hilltop base back there, and had that melting down while I walked out looking around. I also need a Doedicurus, a mammoth. Maybe not the mammoth. They're gonna add the beaver any day now, and at least at the time of the recording, it'd be any day now. Probably tomorrow. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. That'd be my potential replacement for a mammoth as well, other than the hauling factor. We need something big to haul things. I'm going to do a Bronto for berries at some point. It's definitely the best. Just swings his tail in a direction, you get several hundred. And it may move slow, but you dismount, you lead it somewhere, then you do it. It works out much better. I'm not sure if I'll do a high-level Bronto or not. Berry gathering's not a top agenda for me typically. But, we'll see what we do. Let's see, I'm going to get all these guys for base gathering and things, and I'm going to do something kind of different this time. While we tame up this guy, I think I'm going to go ahead and build a forward outpost out here. And to give you guys an idea of scale and time on how long it takes to tame a higher level dino like this. Like, this is a 104. And mind you, we're not at 1 times taming time, so this would be several hours to tame at 1 times. I'm going to go ahead and throw up a campfire over here. I usually try to do something as sort of a beacon with light because it's easier to see at a greater distance than trying to find this spot otherwise, and it's going to be dark soon anyway. I'm going to go ahead and, like I said, build up an outpost out here, and let's see how much building I can get done in the amount of time without being excessively active trying to do it. I'm going to go ahead and see what we can make up. Alright, we'll be back here shortly, guys. So, not just starting a base, but finishing a base. Small as it may be, this takes a lot of different elements to build. And get out of the shot! Get out of the video! Go! Okay, he's out of the way. So it takes quite a bit of time to put one of these together anyway, especially with low gather. Yeah, okay, no problem. With low gather rates, we're going to take a little while to build. Now this guy's a lot closer to being finished. I just went ahead and brought you all back now. But this is going to be a full outpost, if you will. I might even load this up with gear and things if I ever had to come back here at some point. And maybe I'll do several of these throughout the arc, but, different builds. Now I'm going to go ahead and finish some foundations and things. By the time I actually leave here, the entire base will be metal, except maybe the center. I'll use thatch as a rug. It tends to look kind of cool. So we've almost got Anky here. Let's see. Just kind of waiting around on it. But as you can see, each foundation is 80 stone, and it just goes up. It continues from there. Stone, wood, and thatch, and used a decent amount. But I've had time to craft things, that kind of thing. Ran back to base and picked up a few things. Got a 100 narco, just because I could, and I got tired of grabbing berries over here without any creature to do it for me. I really like the way it looks currently. I'm gonna add the door here once this guy gets up, but I I have to wait till he gets up. He's blocking the build. And here we go. Any second now. Come on. Wake up, baby. Okay. Not yet? Does tend to take a while sometimes. Oh, there we are. And like I said, just like my favorite childhood dinosaur right here. I had to grab one when I could. And I saw the 104 and stopped what I was doing. And we're decent ways away from base. I'm going to go ahead and mark this on the map at some point and show y'all where we're at. But it's across the swamp and almost twice the distance. I know, it's a girl, but it's hammer time. Look at the tail. Alright. I've had a suggestion that I think I'll take. It's I've been told I should call her the ball and chain. Alright guys, that's going to be it for today, but I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'm going to wall this little lady up over here and do some more stuff back at base soon. Thanks for watching. Take it easy, y'all.